How do you assess that win? Obviously a great win, but against a pretty weak opponent.
We assess it because we liked a few of the things that we saw and that we worked on. So things that we probably lacked the week before, or maybe the last couple of weeks, in the way we want to play, we saw a bit more of that. So we were pleased with what we were able to bring, and against any opposition really, it was more about how we were trying to play the game.
What were the things that pleased you the most out of it?
We looked at times to be able to move the ball with a bit more speed, which was great, especially if we got a turnover through the midfield. We were able to go a bit quicker at them, and we had some better connection up forward as well, which was pleasing. But maybe on the back of the Port game too, our work rate was back to a level it needs to be.
Is it a true reflection, do you think, Hardy?
Oh, it's a reflection on how we're going at the moment. I think it was good to see some of those things come to fruition that we've been working on, and I think we have to be at the top of our game going into finals. So we'll just continue to work at those things, and we had a good week at training up there as well. So.
Is there a case for maybe playing the permanent three small forwards with Stengel, Betts and Murphy?
Yeah, I think so. We saw things we like up there on the weekend. They'll have to all be in form. That's the thing to play, and then there's also who do we bring in if we decide not to, and that'll be coming down to form in the SANFL as well. So we like some things we saw, but it's certainly a work in progress. It's probably one area we've been searching for that perfect mix, I think, if you can ever get it up forward, and we'll keep looking.
I think Tom Lynch has obviously been out for 4 or 5 weeks. He's still going to miss another week, but short week not going to help him this week.
Well, no, we're hopeful, depending on how he trains. But yeah, he's certainly a guy that we miss through the forward half of the ground, and the way he links the game is an important player for us. So he'll be given every chance to play. He got through training up on the Gold Coast quite well. So hopefully he's recovered enough.
Ben, there's been a bit of discussion, right or wrong, about the talk that maybe there was some disrespect shown towards Gold Coast late in the game. You were in the coach's box as far as you read it. How did you see it? What happened?
No, I saw it simply as Taylor Walker trying to get a handball off of one of our guys late in the game, which was never going to be on, and we were surprised they even called for it. That was about as far as it goes.
What's the danger heading into Friday night, Hardy, in terms of what you've just come off and preparing for a level higher than what you've received?
Yeah, the danger is that we fall away from the things that we know create winning for us. I think our contested footy, as much as anything on the weekend, was pretty strong, and that had fallen away the last couple of weeks against Port and Geelong. So we've got to continue to do that, and hopefully still look to move the ball at the right speed at the right time, if you like. And so it was good to see a bit of it, but if we don't maintain that, then any opposition can beat you.
So how do you make sure you do, I suppose?
It's a good question, isn't it? $1 million question. No, it's the work on the training track. I must admit, on Gold Coast, and credit to our playing group, very mature. They trained really well up there, and so it'll come back to that, how we train and what we train, and it'll be this similar sort of stuff. But if first and foremost, if we don't bring a contest against a team that are pushing for the 8 as well, you can be found wanting. So that'll be first and foremost.
You've spoken about the trip to the GC, how much of a success it was. Is this something you could do into the future where you head up earlier like that?
Oh, I think so. Look, it was good for our group to get away. Maybe even after a couple of poorer weeks, to be able to get away as a group is good. And like I said earlier, they trained really well. They took it on board. Yeah, they got an opportunity to see some sun, but it was certainly more about doing the job, and credit to them. And so yeah, hopefully, if we can get that again in the middle of winter, it'll be nice.
When you talk about your forward mix, Ben, got Lynchy knocking on the door again when he gets fit. What about Dougie? Where do you see him getting back in after being dropped last week? Yeah,
I think Dougie's still got a place to play, absolutely. Going forward, he's probably, his form, and openly he has said too, it probably hadn't been quite to the level that he'd like and that we'd like. But I've got no doubt that he's got plenty of good footy left in him, and hopefully he can get back in that side.
Is he labouring a bit after the ankle? Is it taking him longer to find his...
It was a significant injury, but no, he's been 100% fit and ready to go. So he just needs to find that consistent form again. I think he's shown patches, and if he does that, I'm pretty sure he'll get back in the side.
Source knocking on the door still?
Yep.
Pressure on Riley in your eyes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an interesting dynamic because it's really he's competing for one spot. It's not like a forward or a defender or a midfielder. It's probably one spot. So he knows he's just got to get himself in form. That's the thing that he can control and stay in form. He was pretty good on the weekend and has been for a couple of weeks, but he just got to keep knocking. And if he does that, then I'm sure there's a weird spot for him.
You're adamant, or Don's adamant, there's no two ruck, no room.
Yeah, not adamant, but at this stage we haven't done it. So look, it's an option, but if they're both in really ripping form, it might be something we look at.
Any more players chance to come back? Cam Ellis-Yolman, what's the situation?
Cam, I believe, you'll have to help me with this one, Shutsy. I think he's still a week or two away with regards to his injury. So it was something that needed time to heal. It's not just a 1 week and back in. But hopefully he'll be pretty soon.
And encouragement from Bryce in the Sandford game, I think 25 touches, looking a bit better.
Yeah, I know Don spoke last week, I think, about giving a good chunk of time in the SANFL to get some real good form, and solid again. I think he had over 25 possessions, and his work rate was really strong, and he's had some speed in his game. So, yeah, he'll knock on the door as well.